Another enhancement in Winter 14 was the integration with the MyIT. So without going into a great discussion about MyIT, for those of you that maybe are not familiar with it, MyIT is a new interface for self-service customers. Basically, this is an interface that customers can access through their mobile device, whether it be, no matter what the brand of mobile device it is. In addition to that, it's also accessible not only from your, it's not only accessible for, through those mobile devices, but you also have access through PCs as well. But in short, and we'll be having some webinars that hopefully you'll be able to attend for MyIT coming up. But again, this integration is new as part of Winter 14, and basically there's some examples of how you might use the MyIT. It's context aware. So, for example, if I go to a building, I can see all of the services that are available to me in that building, all of the resources that are used to supply those services. So if I'm going to if I'm a mobile user and I go to one of my remote offices, I might need to print off a quote or a document, right? Well, I need to know, first of all, if the printing service is available, which it obviously would be, but more importantly, where those printers are in the building, how do I connect to those printers, those types of things. And MyIT is a tool that gives you all of that capability through your mobile device or through your PC. And so there's a number of use cases for MyIT. Again, we'll be having some dedicated webinars for MyIT coming up next month, I believe. So look for that. The other thing I wanted to touch on real quickly, and this is the last element. I know we're running over a little bit here, but there's bunch ball integration. So one of the questions that Dick had up on his Q&A before we started the webinar was your awareness of gamification. Are gamification techniques being used in your environment? And, gamification, essentially, it is a way of motivating the staff and motivating people to perform or act in a certain way, right? And so we're doing that, and the way that you can do that is through making that data available to them. And I'm probably not going to do gamification justice. I can tell you, in my mind, this is one of the things. It's a huge differentiator between other service management tools in the marketplace. But this is really a different way of looking at reporting, if you want to think of it in that way. Because previously, you would create reports, you'd run those reports, management would get those, and then you'd go back to your staff and say, well, we need to do better at this. Well, gamification really flips the table, and it's now making that data available to your staff members and doing it in a way so that as they are interacting with applications, they're getting immediate gratification of knowing that I closed this incident before the due date. And as a result, so this is actually an example here where we might be driving clients to use the knowledge base through self-service. So here I'm in the self-service page. I conduct a search, and then from that I view the knowledge article. I provide feedback to the knowledge article. It resolves my issue, and then immediately on my home page in Remedyforce, I can receive notification. You'll notice there you just created or earned 10 points down here in the lower right-hand corner. Well, you just received points for using the knowledge base. So this is motivating people to follow behavior that you're trying to encourage, and it's immediate gratification. And in addition to that, you can see yourself compared to other users, right? And this is just one example of a client accessing knowledge base. We can also use gamification to encourage behavior with our staff members. So again, it might be to close an incident before the due date is reached, right? So as this incident was registered, we had a due date assigned to the record. We, closed it. It was closed before the due date. At that point, we earned 25 points with the gamification utility Bunch Ball. And again, this is driving behavior that we're trying to encourage, and ultimately it has a number of benefits to the organization. Better customer service, faster response times, all of those things, because inherently people by nature want to do good, right? And this is a way that they immediately get that feedback that I'm doing the right thing. I'm doing, what my management team has asked me to. So again, not doing this justification, and this is going to be yet another one of those things that we'll have a further topic on in a different webinar later next month. But I really see this being a paradigm shift in terms of how managers manage their teams and how people, how they interact with the application. Also, I can't tell you how many times I've visited with customers and they told me, well, we all use Remedyforce, or we all use application X, except for this one team. Well, once that one team realizes, and it's very visible, that they're not using the application, they're not interacting with the application, and their team is way behind in terms of points in this gamification concept, it really motivates them to, who wants to be last, right? So there's a number of benefits to gamification, and again, this is a utility this is an integration that is available in Winter 14. It is an add-on application, but I would strongly encourage you to start thinking about this and looking at this, because this is really going to be the way that people motivate and organizations motivate their staff going forward, with new technologies.